So the second part will be about lifestyle measures which we need to follow in order to live a healthy life. So let's start with physician's health first. And I would like to explain you why it is important for a physician to be healthy for himself and for his patients. So the scientific data supporting that physicians who practice healthy lifestyle are more likely to offer counseling to their patients. And physicians are not consistently practicing healthy behaviors. In 2012 survey, 53% of PCPs were obese. In 2013 survey in Canada mentioned that they did not meet physical activity guidelines. So these are like all evidence-based data which I'm sharing with you. And there was a survey done on Californian physicians in 2009, which says like severe to moderate stress in 53% of physicians, no or occasional exercise, around 35%, 6 or fewer hours of sleep, 34%, never or occasionally ate breakfast, 27%, use sedative tranquilizers, 13%, depressed 7%, and use marijuana 4%. And the physician's personal health impacts patient care, and how does it impact? The doctor who exercise are more likely to counsel patients on exercise than those who don't. Non-smoking physicians are more likely to emphasize the risk of smoking. Sorry. If a physician ate less fat, they counsel more on cholesterol. If they ate 5 fruits and vegetables per day, they counsel more on nutrition. And if they consume vegetable and vegetarian diet, they talk more about weight loss. So these are some facts which I'm going to highlight why physician health is important. And there are some strategies for incorporating wellness program for providers into clinic, medical offices, or another healthcare setting. Sure, providers have access to physical activity opportunities like inside and outside their office, promote healthy meals in their office, like when you're having meetings, instead of ordering like pizzas or some healthy foods, you can order like some healthy foods in your office, install standing workstations in the workplace. So these are some American ways of staying healthy while you are working in your office, and frequent breaks for healthy activities for yourself and for your staff. And personal readiness assessment, and develop a personal action plan. Pick a focus area or behavior. When somebody would like to make a change in their lifestyle, your goals should be very small. I think most of you guys know about that part, so I'm just giving an outline. Your goals should be SMART goals, which could be measurable, and just focus and start slow. And this is how you can achieve your goals. And whenever you achieve something, you should celebrate your success and brainstorm to overcome barriers. And you can also use tools like ePhysicians Health. And now AMA also emphasizing physicians' health, because it is important both for physicians as well as their patients. How to conduct effective medicine advocacy directly with patients and their family, as well as on a community level and with the decision makers. So identify and target wellness needs in your community, and work with community organizations and local partners, builds one's capacity to advocate and advocate well, address obstacle to health, help make tools and resources accessible to community and patients. And there are some examples of lifestyle medicine advocacy. There are some projects like Blue Zones projects. Basically, the purpose of this Blue Zone project is that there are certain communities in the world, and they have like a higher highest longevity because of their lifestyle. And this proves that there are certain things which you can practice, and that um, can give you like a healthy life, and it increases the aging. So there are some common characteristics for this community. They move naturally, they feel a sense of purpose in life, eat mainly a plant-based diet, stop eating after being 80% full, relax, downshift, put family first, like connectiveness. Their social circle is very strong. And the Blue Zones Projects is a collaboration among community leaders, educators, health providers, public service officials, and community itself, with an international program to see current cities transformed into places of longevity through healthy community system. There's another one, which is Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, creating a culture of health. And Dr. Dean Ornish is working on the same plan. And so now, I just mentioned you why it was important for a physician to be healthy, but now I'm going to talk about lifestyle medicine, what actually lifestyle medicine is, and what are the components of lifestyle which can help. Because most of the time when we talk about health, we talk about only diet and exercise. But diet and exercise is not the only thing which keeps someone healthy. Actually, there are so many factors which are involved in someone's health. So let me just give you a brief definition of lifestyle medicine, what lifestyle medicine is, because people have different misconceptions about lifestyle medicine. So it uses evidence-based lifestyle therapeutic approaches to prevent, treat, and sometimes reverse lifestyle-related chronic diseases. Teaching self-care and self-management are important elements of lifestyle medicine. And physician acts as both medical expert and a coach, aimed at treating the cause of the disease, actually. And in lifestyle, you treat the patient as a like it's a holistic approach. So you don't just focus on the disease, you focus on the prevention and the whole patient. Components of healthy lifestyle: predominantly whole food, plant-based diet. So this is the part where I'm going to focus it right now, because a lot of times people ask, what to eat, how to, stay healthy. So the current trend is like, I know like there's you should have some moderation, but whole food, plant-based diet, which means that it should be very less processed in a natural form. Just like, for example, apple, so you can eat apple. So, like from when it came from farm, like how many processes were done on this apple actually, instead of applesauce, which has to go through multiple processes. So try to eat whole food, plant-based diet. Regular physical activity is a component of healthy lifestyle. Adequate sleep is another very important. Stress management, avoidance of risky substance use like smoking, alcohol, or drugs, and use of other non-drug modalities that promote health and prevent disease. Regarding the history of lifestyle medicine, I'm going to skip very fast, these slides, because it is not something new. It started from Hippocrates. This statement was quoted to him, but I think it was not from him, but he was an advocate of teaching a healthful diet and being physically active to avoid and combat disease. Same thing, Thomas Edison, the doctor of future, will give no medicine, but will entrust his patient in the care of human frame and diet and in the cause and prevention of disease. Same thing with different longevity programs, and it started from 1970s. Somebody's mic is open. Dr. Dean Ornish, he's like a California based, and he's a Dr. Sarkar ka mic on. Oh my God. So the lifestyle, he's a big advocate of lifestyle medicine, and he's California-based physician who strongly believes in strict vegetarian diet. And according to his concepts, you can reverse chronic diseases like diabetes, coronary artery disease with like your lifestyle measures. The other ones are like Dr. Esselstyn, Hans Deal Coronary Health Improvement Program, and WHO even in 1990s reported on diet, like nutrition is important for a healthy living. But the problem is the pharmaceutical industry, they are not highlighting these things. And even the physicians, we just say diet and exercise or change lifestyle, but we don't talk about what lifestyle we are talking about. There are three organizations which are related to lifestyle medicine currently: American College of Lifestyle Medicine and American Board of Lifestyle Medicine and International Board of Lifestyle Medicine. So it is basically for foreign physicians, but they are all connected. Role of behavioral determinants of positive health outcome. Improving unhealthy behavior is a foundational thing because the problem is the behavior. It's not like sometimes we eat unhealthy food, but it's a behavioral problem. Trusting relationship between patient and physician is also important for a better health outcome. And patient support from a multidisciplinary team, loved ones, and greater community is also very important. So in order to stay healthy, it's not just you actually, it's like all your environment, your home environment, your partners, your family, everybody is important in this fight. I'm going to highlight the 10 leading cause of death in US in 2015, according to which are basically lifestyle related problems. And all of you guys know heart disease, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, accidents, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, influenza, pneumonia, nephritis, nephrotic syndrome, nephrosis, intentional self-harm like suicides. So these, if you look at these diseases, they're very much close to your lifestyle, you know. So, and 80% of the visits we see in our office, they are lifestyle related problems like obesity, metabolic syndrome, hypertension, CAD, dyslipidemia, arthritis, diabetes, osteoporosis. And you know that all these problems, you know, they're interconnected with each other. So one problem leads to another one. So if you fix just one problem, which is like your lifestyle, you can see like how many diseases you can save. And we all know like people who does primary care or medicine practice in their office, they come across these things more commonly. And 80% of the premature deaths are due to tobacco use, poor diet, and lack of physical activity. Determinants of health. There are certain important determinants of health, which is adverse childhood events, which is important. They have strong implications in future. Genetic and epigenetics predispositions. Here, recently we are focusing on epigenetics, you know, and Dr. Asfa is here. We'll get an input from Dr. Asfa later, you know, that it is in our control, because a lot of time we blame everything to genetics, that the genetic is a problem, but it's not only genetics, it's basically epigenetics, which we can change with our lifestyle. Very strong evidence-based studies on this part, and it starts from parents and transfer from parents to child. Health literacy is another factor. Local environmental conditions, socioeconomic status, disparities in health outcomes. These are all important determinants of health. So there are some I'm going to touch, I'm not going to go in detail of what to eat, what not to eat, but I would just highlight very important dietary factors, you know, which we come across from layman, like whether we should eat milk or not. So I'm just highlighting certain points, you know. Dairy actually is an essential component of my plate. And usually in America, like 10% of the calories, they are derived from dairy, like fluid milk or cheese. But we need to keep in mind that there's a big fight between the legislators and the lifestyle people actually, because it has saturated fat. So on one hand, it gives you calcium, but on the other hand, it is harmful. Mild association between dairy and lower stroke risk, and with yogurt, there's a low risk of diabetes. Higher in saturated fat and sodium, prior studies shows lowering blood pressure and lowers risk of diabetes in adults. Improve bone health in children and decrease fracture risk by 5%. Yogurt lowers inflammation, but cheese is pro-inflammatory. That's an important point, actually. Yogurt is dairy, but it is helpful, and it has like microbiomes as well. Eggs, another very common food we all eat actually, and there's a lot of misconception, but the studies have shown there's an increased risk of diabetes if you eat more than 3 eggs per week, but not being associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Contains 141 to 234 milligrams of cholesterol, less than 300 milligrams a day recommended. Raises both HDL and LDL and HDL level, and HDL function appears to improve with egg consumption. That's why maybe from cardiovascular point of view, it balanced their risk actually. There are certain overconsumed foods in our society right now. So what are those overconsumed food these days? Added sugars or high fructose corn syrup, candies, desserts, beverages, savory snack foods. Maximum 10% calories should come from free sugars, and the goal should be 5%. So basically 6 teaspoons or 24 grams we can allow, to stay healthy. And current average is actually in US is 13 teaspoons. Cholesterol is another important overconsumed food. Every food has it, and especially coming from animal food, because everyone loves to eat meat. Meat is like, if it doesn't matter whether you're eating chicken or beef or mutton, everything is like that. Saturated fat, meat, dairy, processed eggs, burgers, spreads. Sodium comes from commercial food, burgers, sandwiches, tacos, rice, pasta, pizza, meat, soup, seafood. Trans fats, another food which is overly consumed in the form of snacks, confections, dairy, processed meats, red meat, white bread, cereals, and margarines. Processed grains, white bread, rice, and white pasta. So these are unhealthy food which are overconsumed these days. And now I'm going to talk about shortfall nutrients which are underconsumed, which are good for an individual actually. So I'm giving a bigger picture of not like just like what to eat in breakfast or one. So I'm just letting you know what are the deficient part, like calcium. So 25% of the population is deficient in these nutrients actually. So calcium is important, but you need to keep in mind from where you can take calcium in your body. So dairy is one thing, good for kids, but chia seed, almond, beans, low egg oxalate, dark greens, okra, they're high in calcium. Same thing, fiber. We should have at least more than 25 grams of fiber every day in our diet. Beans are a good source of fiber. Split peas, lentils, avocados, bran cereals, raspberries, papaya, dried foods, flaxseed, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So fiber is a very good like a nutrient, and it is most of the time we think that it is good for like for constipation or for the gut health, but the main thing what fiber does actually, it is a food for microbiome in your gut actually. And when because you're feeding your microbiomes, so what it does actually, it produces butyrate, which is short chain fatty acids, and that fat chain fatty acids helps your body as an anti-inflammatory. And they do a lot of other stuff which I'm going to mention later. Same thing like potassium, which is in legumes, dates, avocado, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. These are nutrients which are deficient in your day-to-day life actually. So when you eat on a daily basis, try to focus on especially nutrients, because we talk about calories, so calories is not everything. We need to make sure what we're eating, and it's not just a nutrients or nutrition. It's a whole lifestyle. So nutrient dense food actually. So there are certain foods which are nutrient dense. So why we call nutrient dense? Basically food which have most shortfall nutrients with the least overconsumed nutrients per calorie. And what are those foods actually? Obviously, these are vegetables, herbs and spices, fruits, legumes, and whole grains, nuts, and seeds. General principles on foods to consume actually. So what are the general principles? Food package, basically all these foods comes in packages. So let's say if you are having a fruit actually. So it is not just a sugar actually. So a lot of times you say, oh no, don't eat like apple or don't eat this fruit actually, but you don't look at the whole package. So it comes in package. So it's not only just a carb. It has fat, it has proteins, it has some vitamins, minerals. So we need to focus on those things as well. So it comes in package. So we need to look at the whole food, before, declining. Same thing like whole foods, fresh produce like apple. So I gave you an example before. Apple, if you eat whole, it is good actually. But if you eat as an apple sauce, it is bad because it has to go through multiple processes to become applesauce. Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. So that is something which I'm trying to cover, what you need to eat. So you should have food because you have a luxury of eating anything you want to. So you don't need to worry about calories when you're eating like vegetables, because they're very low in calories and they're full of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Eat a rainbow every day. So keep this word in mind. Rainbow means like vegetables, fruits. So the current guideline says like you should have at least 5 vegetables and 5 fruits in your diet every day, which is not difficult actually, because it's like if you just eat a salad, like a healthy salad, it has 5 vegetables. Very simple. Cucumbers, onions, radish, some lemon in that. You can add anything like cilantro or like 5 or 6 things. You can easily make a nice salad, and then you can have vegetables. But the problem with us, like from Southeast Asian community, we try to cook everything. So even if you recommend vegetables to your patients or for yourself, we eat cooked vegetables. So the way we cook vegetables, it is not the right way to eat actually. So the way the Americans eat vegetables, like steamed vegetables, and even in steam, you need to keep in mind, you should not be over steam that. So it's like properly 2 to 3 minutes steam, and then just to make it soft, and then you can have it. So the way we cook this like our food, that is harmful. And there are like a lot of mobile apps which we can use it, like Health Watch 360, MyFitnessPal. Major nutrient studies for disease treatment. So there are like evidence-based studies, I'm just giving you reference here, but I'm not going in detail of that. So there are some studies like portfolio diet for hypercholesterolemia. They're proven diets actually. DASH diet for hypertension. You all heard about these diets. Ornish diet for prostate cancer and CAD. Lin diet for heart studies. Lin diet heart study, which is predominantly Mediterranean diet. Dr. Esselstyn plant-based diet, CHIP program, vegetarian and vegan diet. So if you ask me, what is where is the moderation here? So I would say that after studying all that stuff, I can recommend that you can follow Mediterranean diet. So Mediterranean diet is a very good diet, which is anti-inflammatory actually, because the current focus of medicine is towards inflammation. Everything is related to inflammation, even the cancers, your mental health, your physical health. So inflammation is very important. So moderation is the rule, and the one I'm mentioning, like Mediterranean. And the other thing is adherence. So no matter whatever diet you follow, you need to adhere to that pattern actually. So it's not like because a lot of time people they talk about keto diet, they talk about Atkins diet, but the problem, they're not bad diets, but the problem is you need to have adherence, because after some time you give up, because this is not your lifestyle. You're just forcefully doing it. So I mentioned you about epigenetics, what actually epigenetics is. So just, I'm gonna briefly touch about it, because it is important to know what epigenetics. It's a study of non-DNA sequence components of genetic inheritance. These sequence acts like gene switches that modify and control gene expression through DNA methylation, microRNA, histone acetylation, and growing number of other molecular changes. Epidemic sequences are passed on from parents to child as set switches actually. So genetic expression of obesity, heart diseases could be turned on and off by lifestyle changes in genetically identical mice. So these are studies done on mice, and lifestyle and diet have a major influence. So basically, even cancers, like you are the one who you trigger your own genes actually. So you can trigger your bad genes, or you can suppress your bad gene by your lifestyle. So you don't blame everything to genetics, that it's a genetics, my father had it. But the thing is, what lifestyle he was having, so you're following the same lifestyle. You have the same epigenetics actually. And there's a lot of research going on recently on pregnant females, because whatever the mother does it, if the mother is obese and the parents are obese, the chances of child getting obese is also very high. Same thing with diabetes. And it is all going through epigenetics, that's why the risk is higher. So I mentioned you earlier, like what whole food plant-based diet and what are the benefits. So basically, it changes epigenetics and overall low risk of chronic disease, treat chronic disease, and may even reverse disease. Normalizes angiogenesis, reducing comorbid disease like cancer or heart disease. Leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, onions, and mushrooms. These are commonly, they're good for these above diseases. Lower total calorie intake and reduces feeling of hunger. So this is how this whole food plant-based diet does. You can eat with luxury. You don't need to restrict. That's the beauty of this diet actually, because you're not restricting anything, you're eating. It also helps in A1C level, weight loss, normalization, and sensitization of leptin and adiponectin levels. Improves insulin sensitivity independent of weight loss. Works to lower inflammation through the addition of antioxidants food and reduction of pro-inflammatory foods. Lowers overall endothelial cell injury, oxidative stress, and NF-κB and JNK inflammatory cascades. Protects beta cells by normalizing the lipid profile, normalizing the leptin adiponectin pathway, downregulating inflammatory cascades, normalizing glucose levels, which protects against apoptosis, and stabilizes the immune system via multitude pathway. And it improves glycemic control and optimizes the microbiome via production of short-chain fatty acids from intake of fiber. And what is that short-chain fatty acids? Like a butyrate, enhances insulin sensitivity, enhance mineral absorption. If you look at that, these are different roles. So it is not, the microbiome is not just related to gut actually. It controls your whole body actually. It improves your satiety and decreases glycolysis in the liver, decreases cholesterol and triglycerides, reduces pain associated with peripheral neuropathy and numbness. And I'm going to just, because I'm not going to discuss about microbiome and later, but I'm going to mention why microbiome is so important, because microbiome releases these short chain fatty acids, which absorbs in your circulation in the form of like good cytokines, and it acts like anti-inflammatory, lowers C-reactive protein. And these C-reactive protein are IL-6, they go in your brain, they act on hypothalamus and cause anxiety, depression. So that's how you can connect gut-brain correlation, So same thing with other diseases like diabetes. So it also lowers insulin resistance as well 1 year. So basically, you need to keep your microbiome healthy. So it is not good that we are prescribing antibiotics to our patients for just a simple problem. And same thing with kids, when we change their microbiome, everything gets changed. So microbiome is because you have more cells in the form of microbiome as compared to your own cells. 10 times more microbiome in your body than your own body cells, actually. So you can imagine how microbiome is important for an individual body. And assist in overcoming food addictions. Basically, when you're eating this whole food plant-based diet, it is anti-aging as well. The reason why I'm talking today is like one of the reasons, like what I wanted to highlight, why it is so important. And it also helps addiction of food and dependency by reprogramming taste buds and break eating patterns. There are phytochemicals from plants which may help to normalize the dopamine reward system in the brain, which helps depression, obviously keeps you happy, reduces total cost of medical care, sustainable because it is a message of abundance, not caloric restriction. So here, if you eat like vegetables, like you can eat anything you want to the whole day, you can keep eating salad, but you're not restricting yourself. So try to change your dietary style actually. And there are studies which shows like it helps in reversal of diabetic retinopathy. Now the next part, another very important, I'm going to go very fast, physical activity. So in order to stay healthy, I discussed the diet. Now I'm jumping on the physical activity. The physical activity is any movement of the body done through skeletal muscle contraction that causes the energy expenditure to be beyond its baseline. Higher health rate related fitness, higher control and maintenance of healthy weight, less risk of disabling medical condition, and less chronic disease rates than people who are active. These are the benefits. What is exercise? So physical activity is one thing. Exercise is a purposeful physical activity that is organized, planned, and recurring, and that is done with an intent of improving or maintaining one or more components of one's health, actually. So it is another step up. When you are like physically active, then you can think about exercise, which is another step up. Physical fitness. What is physical fitness actually? It's a cardiorespiratory endurance, muscle strength, muscle endurance, body composition, and flexibility. What are the guidelines recently for an 18 to 64 years of age? So everyone has different guidelines. Kids have different guidelines. Young kids have different guidelines, so they need to be very aggressive. They need to do vigorous physical activity, not like aerobic moderate for adults, just like for people like us, 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity physical activity is recommended these days, or 75 minutes of vigorous physical activity. Any amount of activity is better than none. So even if you cannot do any activity, you can be active to any amount, which is better than not doing any activity. Additional health benefits if you do 300 minutes of moderate intensity or 150 minutes of vigorous. So basically, if you want more benefit, like you want to lose more weight or you want to be more fit, then you can do 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. But if you just want to keep yourself healthy, 150 minutes, which means half an hour a day activity is very good. Strength training 2 to 3 times a week. Usually we think like the strength training is only for the youngsters, actually. This is not true. Basically, we need more strength training than young people, actually, because what strength training does, it improves the quality of our muscle fibers. So there is a fat accumulated inside the muscle fiber, and this strength training and vigorous training, it resolve that fat, it makes our muscles more sensitive, to insulin and to glucose uptake, and there's some regulation of receptor when we do this kind of work, actually. So like older people needs more strength training than younger, actually. So I strongly recommend strength training for everyone, whether you're young, whether you're old. And then stretching, 10 minutes, 2 to 3 days a week. Ideally, if you're doing activity every day, then 10 minutes of stretching is good for, so it will help, it helps avoiding like muscle injury. And then a lot of people, they do like yoga, Tai Chi, like in the Western world, people, they love to go for yoga. There's a big population which loves like gym, but you can do any activity which you like. It's all up to you, cycling, whatever. Then physical activity benefits, it improves sleep, duration, quality, improves brain executive functions like your concentration, emotional regulations, memory, ability to plan and organize, and speed of processing. Reduces depressive symptoms and prevent depression. And if somebody on this, like today, if there are any psychiatrists there, they know like what are the benefits of exercise these days. It reduces anxiety, quality of life, and physical function. Here I'm going to highlight, if you see like physical activity benefits, breast cancer, very strong these days, like people who even being diagnosed with breast cancer, on treatment, completed treatment, in all stages, they do benefit. Exercise is very beneficial for those patients who have breast cancer. So lower blood pressure, obviously, we all know that improves insulin sensitivity and mental function, immediate improvement. So you don't need to wait for weeks. These are the effects you can get immediately with exercise. Risk of disease decreases within days to week. Healthy weight maintenance, obviously with exercise, reduces risk of dementia and cognitive decline, actually. Reduces risk of cancer of breast, colon, bladder, endometrium, esophagus, kidney, lung, and stomach, and reduces the risk of chronic disease, diabetes, osteoarthritis, and hypertension. Now, the third part, I talk about nutrition, I talked about physical activity, and now I'm coming to emotional health. It is also very important. Being happy, content, and confident, able to cope with life, and resilient when facing challenges. So before I'm going to tell you about emotional health, I would just give you a brief touch on what stress is actually, how stress can affect your body. So if you look at this picture, if you look at the nervous system, the heart may beat faster and the blood pressure rises to ready the body to fight the perceived threat. Muscles tense and can trigger tension headaches. Respiratory breathing quickens, when you have a stress. Cardiovascular system, heart rate increases. Endocrine system, your cortisol level goes up. Gastrointestinal system, your eating habits may change and the feeling of butterflies in your stomach may occur. So stress can cause anything to your body and how you can control that. So 70% visits are related to stress and lifestyle in primary care medicine. During stress, people are less likely to engage in engage in healthy activities. Affects organs and neuroendocrine balance, and it suppresses the immune system. Stress can be treated. It increases incidence of diabetes, heart diseases, and a big list, Depression and diabetes have bidirectional association. So basically, there are a lot of chronic diseases which can cause depression, and the depression can also lead to these chronic diseases as well. So for example, people who have diabetes, they're more prone to get depression. And people who have depression, they are more prone to have diabetes. So it's a bidirectional. Same thing with coronary artery disease. Emotional health. So just like a brief overview, depression associated with cardiac disease, strokes, cancer, and diabetes. Independent marker of mortality. Negative perception of the diseases and its complication. CAD and cardiac events are very common deaths, endothelial dysfunction, lowered heart rate variability, they're common with depression. And how to evaluate emotional health? There are we have a habit of asking these questions from patients, and in US, most of the clinics, they have these protocols. Screen everyone for depression, PHQ-2, screen for their stress and anxiety, develop proactive emotional wellness plans, assist patients with adapting self-management techniques, talk about emotional wellness as a component of developing healthy habits. So coming to what are the non-pharmacological stress management ways, and this is one thing which we wanted to highlight today as well, what you can do as a physician to stay healthy. It is for everyone, but today our talk is focusing on you guys. So mindfulness exercises, meditation, relaxation, abdominal breathing, expressive and creative pursuits like dance, music, singing or art, massage, tai chi, volunteering for meaningful causes like volunteer work, spiritual and religious activities, regular time in nature. So these are all multiple ways to lower your stress actually. So I'm gonna highlight what actually mindfulness means, what you can do. But for my patients, let's say you are in Pakistan and you will come across a lot of patients. Some of you guys pray actually. So for me, the simplest thing is to pray. If you are praying 5 times a day, so that is a perfect mindfulness or meditation, so you're achieving a lot of benefit from there actually. So because the current evidence-based medicine and lifestyle medicine supports all these non-pharmacological stress management, and they are very good for your health. How relaxation improves your health actually? Because it decreases your heart rate, it decreases blood pressure, it decreases the rate of breathing, it decreases muscle tension, and there are techniques you can use to relax. So some people, they do yoga to do the same thing. Some people do mindfulness-based stress reduction techniques in which they do a full body scanning, they just lay down. You can do it anyway. You can do a full body scan, or you can do just a 10 minutes yoga sitting in your chair. The only thing is the bottom line is that you need to cut yourself from the world. for the time being. You need to take these breaks a couple of times a day because your brain needs a rest. So we'll talk later, like in the same thing. Methods to elicit the relaxation response include meditation, mindfulness, progressive muscle relaxation. These are techniques, Tai Chi and yoga. And I'm going to include prayers as well, to this part. And biofeed, physical activity, prayers, socializing, music, art, everything helps your mind. And brain is one of the organ which grows. There's no limit. Even in an older age, your brain grows. This is one of the organ which keeps growing. It depends on how you use it actually. So the rest of the organs, they don't grow. They go down with age. The brain is the only organ which is in your control. So you can build new connections, new pathways because of your activities. Components of emotional health. What are those components? Connect with others like family, friends. Obviously, the way you guys go for these activities on lunches and breakfast and dinners definitely helps. Get involved in activities, any kind of activity, any social activities. Listen music, exercise, dance, meditate, or yoga, fun activities and hobbies. Spiritual needs, like we go for Hajj, Umrah, anything. It relaxes you. Focus on accomplishment from the past or what challenges have already been overcome. You should celebrate success whenever you achieve something, counting blessings every day, and regularly practice kindness, So these are general rules, to keep your mind away from stress, and promote self-management techniques. I'm not going to go in detail of that, like called CBT, develop problem-solving skills, improving. These are like some step-up approaches. I'm going to skip this thing right now. And social support is very important at every level. So your family support, your friend support. So what mindfulness is actually? Mindfulness means that paying attention in the present moment without judgment. So like you're eating something, so enjoy that. So don't like watch TV while eating. When you're talking to someone, focus on that person actually. Do an eye-to-eye contact. Be in the moment actually. If you are enjoying a movie, don't focus anywhere. Just live in that moment. And don't judge like anything. Like you're not supposed to judge yourself even. So try to be there. If you're eating food, every single bite you're taking, you need to focus on that. You will feel that food is more tastier than because sometimes you're watching TV, you're doing some activity, you're talking to someone, and you don't even know how much you ate. First of all, you don't know how much you ate, and the other thing is you don't even know what you're eating actually. So mindfulness is everywhere. Well, no matter what you do, you see your patients, you do your work, you should focus on that and stay in that moment. That is what mindfulness means. And there is a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, which was designed by John Kabat-Zinn. I think it was started from Boston, and the guy started this one, and there were 9 classes structured over 8 weeks, minimum like 45 minutes a day, 6 days a week. But it is not that easy actually. Like most of us, we don't have 40 minutes every day, 6 days a week that we can do this thing. But everyone has different styles. You can do yoga, you can do Tai Chi, you can do Chinese. They also do like Qigong, and then we pray. Actually, I try to do like pray. That is my best mindfulness exercise. And it provides a direct path into experiencing a situation in its entirety by being present actually. And the purpose is to cut you off from the world. Focus on yourself, non-judging, being present without judging, relaxing, acknowledging what is happening. You're focusing like you just lay down. What it does actually, you just lay down, you start focusing from your feet, like what is going on. So you focus on your body, and then you keep coming up, from your feet to legs to tummy to every single part of your body, and you feel that part of the body. How you feeling? Is it painful? Is it relaxed? And what part is painful actually? So you keep focusing on those things. So this is how you relax yourself, and you try to relax that part. You don't think about anything else. Yeah, there are some distractions, but with time you learn, and the more you do it, the more you get command on it, actually. Research on MBSR. So what MBSR does actually, which is like mindfulness-based stress reduction, what mindfulness does, the brain is being constantly modified. An adult human can grow 700 neurons a day. The brain learns, adapts, and restructures itself based on thoughts, attitudes, and emotional experience. 8 weeks of mindfulness training can increase activation of prefrontal cortex, planning, personality, happiness, increase gray matter density in hippocampus. That is a very important part. Learning and memory, awareness, compassion, it lies in hippocampus actually, and then reduces gray matter density in amygdala, which is like a emotion area of the brain where your most of the anger stays. So basically this mindfulness enhance certain good areas of the brain, like your prefrontal cortex, and suppresses the gray matter in the bad areas, So this is how it does actually. Mindfulness meditation promotes stronger connections between the prefrontal cortex and amygdala. Benefits: enhances psychological hardiness, like it makes you more resilient. Your self-esteem will be higher, energy, enthusiasm for life, improves one's ability to cope with short and long-term stressful situation, and one's ability to relax. Alleviate inflammation, response to chronic pain, anxiety, depression, addiction, and helps improve compassion and empathy for self and others, tolerance and resilience. So basically, mindfulness is good, and this should be part of your life actually. So patient, and now I'm going to talk about mindfulness for physicians actually. Why it is important for you, why you should be mindful when you're seeing your patients. It is very important for the healing process and adherence of relationship, with the patient. Physicians must be present, real, listen, and be aware of perceptions. Maintain interpersonal mindfulness, like you need to pause, relax, stay open, listen, to be truthful with your patient. Compassion is maintaining an attitude of kindness, friendliness, and gentleness towards yourself and others, and it is important for yourself and in clinical encounters. Compassionate fatigue and burnout are really real thing actually. And you're seeing this new concept of burnout, what is burnout in physicians, and what is compassionate fatigue actually. So basically burnout is a lack of satisfaction with one's job, which may be due to hours, pay, or your stress, in life. And this is very common in physicians right now, growing at a very fast pace. Compassion fatigue is like traumatic post-traumatic stress disorder, but it's an acute distress or tension. With compassionate fatigue, the helper is traumatized and preoccupied with suffering, which may lead to helper having poor coping, poor self-care, and self-sacrificing tendency. And self-care can help prevent burnout. So I'm going to focus here that you all need to take care of yourself, to help prevent this burnout. If you don't take care of yourself, this is very high in physicians these days, very high in US, because the practice of medicine in US is getting very stressful because of micromanagement, because of job non-satisfaction, too much micromanagement. And self-care is essential. Before the heart sends blood anywhere else, it sends blood to itself. So this statement is important to listen actually, because our body, I'm giving an example because the heart sends blood to itself first, before it sends the blood to the body. So basically you need to take care of yourself first before you take care of your patients. Current societal environment, if you look at that, what we are doing right now, the impacts bad for prefrontal cortex, and how we're doing multitasking is not good for us. Addiction to distractions like media, phones, and watches, stress overdose, sleep deprivation, low octane diet, too little exercise, and no brain breaks or downtime. Mindfulness skills for clinical encounters, what you can do. Mind must be agile, able to go deep. I already discussed what you can do on a daily basis, and easily and quickly cross 3 dimensions like focus, awareness, and content. Agility is important. Like when we see a patient, we jump from one topic to another one. Like we need to be present, we need to be aware, and we also imagine, we think, we evaluate, we flow, we collaborate with patient. So just imagine how many things we are doing while we are seeing a patient. And then at the same time, we have a creative thinking and strategic thinking actually. So strategic thinking means that you need to see what is the priority, what is important. Upgrade your brain energy. So how you can upgrade your brain energy? By protecting your emotional energy to drain, or you can also improve your physical energy, through physical activity, which can also help brain energy. Tame the sense of frenzy, like negative emotion before entering the room. If you are angry of something or you're upset with something, try to, take a break, just 10 minutes break before going to the room, before seeing a patient. If you have something like that happens, just take a break. Don't see patient right away. Connect with those around you, like your patients when they are there. So you need to fully involve with them, and try to not to answer any phones or something like that, which doesn't look nice, because just think about yourself. Like if you're talking to someone and the other person starts talking on the phone, you don't feel good. Actually, same thing happens to the other people as well. Focus and sustain your attention. So deepest brain state of clinical encounter, no distraction for peak performance. Stay curious, non-judgmental, and open-minded. Put a brake on distractions. The brain must exhibit effective inhibition. Take a brain breaks. Better to stretch or walk as a break. Be creative and be strategic. You need to see what is important, priority, meaningful lesson. And now the last part, which I'm gonna quickly, I'm gonna touch, sleep. If somebody will ask me, the Dr. Nusrum, what is the most important thing I need to do first, to improve my health, to do like it has an anti-aging effect, and to improve my longevity, the first thing I'm going to recommend is sleep, actually, because sleep controls everything in your body, and sleep is the most important thing. It does so many things in your body that you have no imagine, you cannot imagine, actually. So it is the most important thing, actually. It controls your diet, it controls your genes, it controls your mind, it controls everything. So basically, you're under the control of daylight, actually, directly or indirectly. And I'm gonna just quickly let you know. So average adult sleep in US, like 6 hours, 57 minutes, which is still pretty good number, actually. 20% sleep less than 6 hours. 60 million US adults have had frequent difficulty sleeping. 7 to 8 hours a day sleep required, and deficiency impairs functional performance. Circadian rhythm, we have read it. I'm not going to go in detail of that. We are under the control of circadian rhythm. Like all our hormones in the body, they are in a cyclical pattern, and it's a full different topic. I'm not going to go in detail of that. But the bottom line is, I wanted to make sure that you should sleep on time on a regular basis. I'll just show you this quick graph. If you look at that, how sleep does to your body. So if you look at this time period when you're sleeping, just see your melatonin, which is a most important hormone. I call melatonin is a queen of night hormones. So if your queen is not good at night, then everything is gonna go down, actually. So you are playing with you're playing with the nature, actually, while not sleeping, while not taking care of this hormone. So this is the most important hormone which we are not focusing right now. So when melatonin goes to peak, you see like the core body temperature drops, the cortisol level sinks, and then there's another hormone here, which is insulin. And this is how this graph is important. So that's why when we talk about obesity, when we talk about weight gain, when we talk about depression, when we talk about the hypertension, when we talk about diabetes, why sleep is important? Because these are the places where we don't focus, actually, and we don't pay attention. So if a patient is coming to you and saying, I'm not losing, so the problem is here. It's not in their diet. They are doing everything good, but if they're not sleeping well, all their hormones are messed up. So their cortisol is not coming down because it's high. Because if your melatonin is low at night when you're using blue light technology, or you are having a bright lights and not sleeping properly, so this is what you get. So sleep and metabolism, like what sleep does to your body.
अगस्त में सुना है free ticket आएगी मुझे.
Can somebody's mic is on?
Oh, my apologies.
Okay, so it lowers cortisol and glucose level, insulin sensitivity, higher daytime leptin. So if your sleep is good, your leptin level is higher. What leptin does to you? It reduces food-seeking behavior, lower sympathetic tone and blood pressure. So obviously, if the sympathetic tone is low, then you will not get hypertension. Your blood pressure is going to be good. You have a good heart rate variability, and you have a less chance of having heart attacks. Your cardiac health is going to be very good, actually. Greater nighttime peripheral vascular perfusion, increased stamina and faster cardiovascular recovery time, enhanced learning and memory, faster cognitive processing, DNA repair and histone remodeling, another very important part. So let's say you're not sleeping well, you can mess up with your DNA. That's why we're seeing like why someone is getting heart attack at the age of 30s now. And at a very early age, people are getting cancers, coronary artery disease, all these like major chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, coming at a very early age now. And then some recommendations for better sleep. When you go to your bedroom, it is meant for your sleep and for sex. Establish regular sleep cycle for bedtime and wake time. It is not like on weekends you can just keep up until 4 in the morning. It should be, every day should be the same. Bath and shower if you want to have a nice sleep. Socks or heating pads for cold feet. Like, you need to be very comfortable if you have sleep disturbances, actually, or even if you don't have sleep problem and you want to sleep good. Non-caffeinated tea or beverages. I usually don't recommend having a caffeine after 4 p.m. In the evening. Non-caffeinated tea or beverages at night. Allow air temperature to gradually warm bedding, socks, and heating pads and blankets. Eliminate bedroom noise and lights. Alarm clocks out of sight. Increase daytime exposure to light. Increase daytime activity. And turn off or dim unnecessary light at least 1 hour before going to bed, especially blue light, compact, fluorescent, halogen, and backlit screens. So these are some general recommendations to have a good night's sleep. And some dietary recommendations, like what you need to like diet is not just to have a weight, actually. It is connected to everything. Even your sleep is connected to your diet. So eliminate nighttime caffeinated beverages. Limit daytime caffeinated beverages. It's good for your sleep. Avoid alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime. Eliminate after dinner and late night snacking, because if you eat carbs, you can have sleep problem, and you have difficulty falling asleep. Avoid high sodium food, especially at dinner, because it affects vascular tone and vasodilation. So basically, when you have a high sodium diet at night, your vascular tone is going to be higher. Basically, you need to have a lower vascular tone when you go to sleep. And assure adequate daytime fluid intake so that it will keep your vascular fluid in a proper amount, and weight reduction if it is high. So, and regarding stress reduction, start settling down 1 hour before going to bed. This is what we all do. So this is especially for you guys. Start settling down 1 hour before going to bed, including active relaxation. You can have a bath, or you can meditate, music, stop working or doing stimulating activities like 90 minutes before going to bed. So most of the time we just keep doing our work and just do it. So try to be relaxed, 90 minutes to 1 hour, stop working, actually. So don't work, at home, like try to make your home a relaxing environment, and mitigate nighttime worrying, planning, ruminating. So you need to shut down your brain, actually. So try to low down your thinking. So it's all, everything matters. And try MBSR, which I told you. The simplest way to do some breathing exercise, I can tell you, I can send you on WhatsApp group as well. Dr. Andrew Weil, I'm in his fellowship program right now, and he recommends 478. 478 is a very simple way to, it's a yoga, quick breathing or quick relaxation technique. Take a deep breath for 4 seconds, like this, and then hold your breath for 7 seconds. And then take out, your breath in 8 seconds. So 4, 7, 8, I will send you the technique, and you can practice 2 times a day, at least twice a day, which helps relax you and it slows down your heart rate, it slows down your sympathetic tone, decreases your blood pressure, and helps you relax. And the last thing, if you do smoke, no smoking. So that's the most important thing for your patients and for anyone who does smoke. And we all know like what are the effects of smoking: diabetes, a lot of chronic problems like rheumatoid arthritis, pregnancy-related problems, macular degeneration, risk of bone fracture, muscle aches and pains, problems in reproduction in men and women. So with this, I will conclude. And thank you very much for listening such a long talk. I tried my best to cover like how to improve your lifestyle. It's a very huge topic. Actually, every single topic needs to be discussed individually, but I tried to capture everything for you guys because it is not just one thing. It is your whole lifestyle. And even if you have spent a bad, lifestyle in the past, there's no harm in starting now and anytime. So, and that's why I tell my patients who are overweight, who are obese, that change your lifestyle. So if your lifestyle is good, don't focus on your just weight. Look at your overall lifestyle. Actually, that is what is the most important thing. So with this, I will conclude my talk. Thank you very much. And I'm open to any questions if you have it. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Nusrum?
Yes, sure. Who is this?
Do you, Asifa?
Oh, yes, Asifa.
Yeah. Do you recommend taking any melatonin supplements for better sleep?
Yes, I do. The reason is because a lot of times it all depends if you're having a sleep issues, because in integrative medicine, we are using it because, as I mentioned to you, that melatonin is a queen of hormones at night. So if you're having trouble and let's say you think that you're not getting good sleep, it is better to take it because, but usually melatonin works for 4 hours only. So you get good induction of sleep with melatonin, and some of the phases of sleep, they respond very well to melatonin. Yeah, I do support it. Because it affects your blood pressure, it affects your vascular tone, it helps your cardiac health, So basically, if you look at that graph, the one I showed it to you, that clearly mentioned that how melatonin is controlling your other bad hormones. Not bad, but hormones which plays role in your chronic disease like inflammation, like cortisol. So let's say if your melatonin is not high enough at night, so you can imagine the cortisol level is going to be higher. And chronically higher cortisol can cause inflammation in your body. So initially it protects you, but if it is like a prolonged, then it causes inflammation in your body, cause weight gain. So it's like the web, so it affects it everywhere. Anyone else? Did I answer your question?
Thank you, Dr. Nusrum, a very comprehensive lecture. What is what is this low octane diet, and do you know anything about Optiva diet? I don't know if you are using that.
No, I'm not using that one actually, to be honest.
Okay, thank you. But it was a very nice lecture. Thank you.
I hope it helped you. Like I tried to cover just the general things which anyone can practice, in their day-to-day life.
Hi, Dr. Nusrum. Thank you so much for a great talk. I've got a couple of questions.
Sure.
Other than melatonin, do you recommend using any other sleep aids like the selective benzodiazepines or something like Zolpidem?
No.
Number two.
I'm sorry. So you want me to answer one by one, or you want me to?
No, that's good enough. That's good enough. And yeah, and lastly, like, what aids are available in Pakistan to help people with smoking cessation?
Actually, I'm not like I usually, I'm not sure about like, there are people sitting here. Usually Chantix, we use it here, which helps in quitting smoking. Very high rate of Chantix. If we use it with nicotine patch, it helps a lot, you know. But obviously you need to watch if the patient is having any depression or any mental health issues. But Chantix is good. I'm not sure if Chantix is available in Pakistan.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is, then in the past, you know, we used to recommend starting like a nicotine gum, nicotine patch, but now it is recommended you just need to quit cold turkey actually. So there's no need to do this way. There's no need to go this way actually. You need to address the underlying problem. You need to see the readiness of the patient to quit smoking. You need to follow a proper behavioral change for these patients. Like hypnosis has a very good role recently, you know, in smoking cessation. And I think if someone like in here, like belongs to mental health, you know, like any psychiatrist, they can give us a very good feedback on this, because recent studies are showing like hypnosis does play a role in quit smoking. And in US, like Chantix is working great, you know, for our patients. So, and smoking, like previous concept of going slow, now we can stop like a cold turkey, you know, just stop it. So there's no need to taper off, you know. So, and the question from you regarding sleep aid, usually we don't recommend sleep aid actually. I don't actually, very, very rarely, you know, if somebody's really has a problem, then obviously Zolpidem is a better choice, you know. You can start with 5 milligrams, go up to 10, but melatonin would be my first choice. Sleep hygiene, I would try to focus on patients' sleep hygiene first, you know, their sleep patterns. Go in detail of, because I showed you like how many things we do it every day, which is against our sleep cycle. So you see like the technology, TV, when you are at home, try to lower your bright lights at least 2 hours before going to bed. So it's important, because what it does actually, when you lower down your lights, you know, your melatonin starts going up slowly actually. So one question, the one somebody asked, you know, melatonin, then you need to take melatonin. If you cannot control it with this one, then yes, you can add melatonin, 3 milligrams, at least an hour before going to bed. So you need to give a peak of that. So this is something you can do, but I'm not in favor of using hypnotics and benzodiazepine. There are some other medicines like valerian and integrative medicine, like supplements, you know, like valerian supplements with a natural way of using some extra things for sleep. But again, I'm going to find it out, because I'm going to make a list of those products and find out if they are available in Pakistan. Because valerian is like a non-medicine thing, which you can use it. It's a supplement which you can use. Like integrative medicine, they recommend valerian.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes. Any further question?
Assalamu alaikum, Nusrum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Who is this?
Imran.
Yes, Imran.
Nusrum, what is a good standard dose of melatonin to start?
I usually start like 3 milligrams of melatonin. Like people, they usually recommend like a very small dose, like 0.5 or something, but I think 3 milligrams is a decent dose. So you can start.
Anywhere from 0.5 to 3, depending upon the sleep, to kind of titrate it.
Yeah.
For the sleep.
Exactly. When like a beginner, you know, you can start low and then you can go slowly up, you know. And people who travels a lot, you know, for them it's a perfect thing. You can use it. But I know like a couple of our physicians here, like in California, I know people who practice like functional medicine, they take melatonin very regularly actually, because they also think like it's a kind of anti-aging as well. So it's
They
beyond
take it.
sleep. Yeah.
So
it's
do you
beyond,
know the, oh, okay, sorry.
No. You can ask me. What is the question?
My question was, is there the anti-aging dose is different than the regular dose?
No. I think it's the same. Just the concept is like you need to take melatonin because it is controlling other 3 hormones in your body. Like usually melatonin, like when we were in med school, it was just like a hormone. We never talk about it. It's
Right.
like a small gland, like a pineal gland, and we just pay attention. We never talk in detail about that. But recently, if you look at that graph, the one I showed it to you,
Yeah.
it clearly mentioned like how it is affecting your body tone, your heart rate, your sympathetic tone. It works at hypothalamus level. It works at the suprachiasmatic nucleus level. It is connected to your neurons, your nervous system. It is connected to your insulin, cortisol. So just imagine like just one hormone is antagonizing your bad hormones. And the interesting thing is like, if you look at the graph, melatonin at night should be here. And the other hormone should be here. But what we are doing right now, why it is anti-aging, like why we are saying, because as I mentioned to you in sleep, that sleep is anti-aging actually, and we are not sleeping good. So what we are doing actually, our melatonin is at bottom at this level at night, that's how we are playing with our melatonin at night. And when the melatonin goes down, the other hormones are like this, So we are creating a disbalance. And when cortisol is going to be higher, so you can imagine the whole night your sugar is going to be higher. That's why when your diabetic patient is going to come to you, oh, hey, doctor, my blood sugar is not getting controlled. That is the reason, because he is not sleeping well. He is not eating well. So snacking and all that stuff. So basically, this is what so that's what I told you, like sleep. One thing, if somebody asks me like, what do I need to fix first? I'm not going to say diet, I will say first focus on his sleep, because if he's going to focus on his sleep, he's going to fix the other 5 problems by himself as well.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I think, thank you so much for attending on Saturday night. And I just tried my little effort, to give you some insight. So in future, maybe I can make like some focus topics, regarding especially activities. If people love to do like physical activity or nutrition, I can talk about that for certain medical disease like integrative cardiology. I can do it in future. So thank you very much, everyone. With this, I will conclude it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And have a nice weekend.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Nusrum.
Thank you.